Most people dream big. They want to become successful, confident, rich, or healthy. But they want it fast. They think transformation means doing something huge overnight. But that's not how real growth works. What if I told you that the real secret to massive success is not about big changes, but about tiny improvements you make every single day? Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll understand how just improving 1% daily can completely transform your life. Let me tell you something interesting. If you get just 1% better every day, in 1 year, you'll be 37 times better than you are today. Not 10%, not 50%, but 37 times. That's the incredible power of small daily improvement. Most people underestimate what small progress can do because they want quick results. They give up when success doesn't happen instantly. But real winners, those who build confidence, skills, and discipline that last, they know every small effort counts. Every single day, you have two choices: to repeat yesterday's habits or to grow by 1%. It might not look big today, but one day, you'll look back and realize that those tiny steps were building your entire future. So stay with me, because once you understand this truth, you'll never look at progress the same way again. Part 1. Why big goals often fail. Let's be honest. When you start something new, you're full of motivation. You feel powerful, unstoppable, ready to conquer your dreams. You tell yourself, "This time I'll change everything." You make a long list of goals. You'll wake up early, go to the gym every day, stop procrastinating, eat healthy, read more books, and finally become the best version of yourself. For a few days, you're on fire. You wake up early, you exercise, you plan, and you feel proud. But then, reality hits. You skip one day because you're tired. Then you skip another day because you're busy. Soon, your routine breaks. You start feeling guilty, disappointed, and frustrated. And before you realize it, you've given up. Again. Why does this keep happening? Why do big goals fail even when you start with so much passion and energy? The answer is simple. Because our minds are not built for sudden, extreme change. When you try to change everything at once, your brain gets overwhelmed. You shock your system. You go from doing nothing to trying to do everything, and that pressure becomes too heavy to handle. It's like trying to run a marathon without ever walking a single mile before. You might start strong, but you'll burn out quickly. The human mind loves comfort. It resists change, especially big change. So when you suddenly decide to become a new person, your brain starts to fight back. It says, "This is too hard. Let's go back to what's comfortable." That's why motivation fades so quickly. It's not because you're weak, but because you're trying to change too much, too fast. The truth is, transformation doesn't happen by doing everything at once. It happens by doing one small thing, again and again, until it becomes part of who you are. Think about it like this. You can't climb a mountain in one giant leap. You climb it one step at a time. It's the same with success, confidence, or personal growth. You don't need to change your whole life in one day. You just need to get a little better today than you were yesterday. That's it. Here's the better way. Start small. Ridiculously small. If you want to start exercising, don't begin with an hour at the gym. Start with just 5 push-ups. If you want to start reading, don't promise yourself a whole book. Just read 1 page. If you want to meditate, don't sit for 30 minutes. Start with 1 minute. It might feel too easy, but that's the point. When you start small, you make it easy to begin. You remove resistance. You tell your brain, this is simple. I can do this. And when you do something small, you're more likely to do it again tomorrow. Then the next day. And slowly, those small actions begin to stack up. One day, you realize what started as 5 push-ups has become 50. One page becomes 1 chapter. 1 minute of meditation becomes 10. You built a habit without even realizing it. Because you didn't force yourself, you grew into it naturally. That's how real progress happens. Not through massive action in one day, but through consistent small action over many days. Remember this powerful truth. Consistency beats intensity. One small step every day is better than one giant effort once a month. Big, intense actions might give you quick results, but they rarely last. Small, consistent actions create lasting change, the kind that builds a new identity. Let's look at an example. Imagine 2 people decide to get fit. The first person joins the gym, buys expensive equipment, and works out hard for 5 days straight. Then they get tired, skip a week, and eventually stop. The second person starts by walking for 10 minutes a day. It seems too easy, but they do it every day. After a month, they walk 30 minutes. After 3 months, they're jogging. After a year, they're running marathons. Who do you think wins in the long run? The one who stayed consistent, even with small steps. The same principle applies to every part of life. If you're learning English, don't pressure yourself to study for hours. Study for 15 minutes daily. Watch 1 short English video. Read 1 new word. These little habits might seem unimportant today, but 1 year from now, you'll look back and be amazed by how much your English and your confidence have grown. Most people fail not because they lack goals, but because they lack patience. They want results today. They want to see the final picture before painting the first stroke. But success doesn't come like that. You plant a seed, water it daily, and wait for it to grow. You don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. You trust the process. That's what small daily improvement is. A process that builds your future quietly. So, instead of saying, I'll change my life this week, say, I'll improve by 1% today. You don't need to transform everything. You just need to start. Take 1 tiny action today that moves you forward. Then take another tomorrow. One day, you'll realize that small actions done consistently have created a massive difference in your life. Big goals fail because they depend on motivation. Small habits succeed because they depend on discipline. Motivation is a feeling. It comes and goes. Discipline is a choice. It grows stronger every time you use it. And when you focus on small, easy daily actions, discipline becomes automatic. You no longer need to push yourself. It becomes part of you. So remember, you don't need to do everything today. Just do something. Even 1 step is progress. Even 1 effort counts. The person who walks slowly every day will reach the destination before the person who runs once and stops. Don't let big goals scare you. Don't let slow progress discourage you. Every little effort is moving you forward, even when you don't see it. The truth is simple. Consistency beats intensity. You don't have to be the fastest. You just have to keep moving. 1 small step today, 1 small step tomorrow. And before you know it, You'll be miles ahead of where you started. That's how you win. Not by doing everything at once, but by doing one small thing again and again until success becomes your new normal. Part 2. The power of the 1% rule. Now let's understand the real power behind the 1% rule, the math and mindset that can truly change your life. It might sound small, but the truth is, if you improve by just 1% every single day, you're not simply adding progress, you're multiplying it. Think about it like compound interest in a bank. When you invest money, it grows over time, and then that growth itself starts to grow. That's how wealth is built, not in one day, but little by little. The same rule applies to your habits, your skills, your health, and your mindset. When you get slightly better every day, even just by 1%, those small improvements start to multiply. After 30 days, you'll be around 35% better. But after one full year, that tiny 1% improvement each day will make you about 37 times better than you are right now. That's not a fantasy. That's math. But here's the scary part. The same rule works at the opposite direction too. If you get worse by 1% every day, if you skip your responsibilities, delay your goals, or say "not today" too often, you'll start to lose momentum. Slowly, you'll slide backward without even noticing. After 1 year, your growth won't just stop. It'll almost disappear. That's the silent power of habits. They compound whether they are good or bad. Small improvements and small mistakes both grow with time. Let's look at an example. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't notice a big difference after brushing once, right? Your teeth look the same. But if you keep brushing every day, twice a day, for months and years, your teeth stay strong, clean, and healthy. Now imagine ignoring it for a few months. The result will be cavities, pain, and damage. That's how life works too. Your daily actions may not show visible results right away, but they are shaping your future silently in the background. The same rule applies to everything: your mind, your body, your career, and your confidence. You don't become confident by reading one motivational quote or giving one great speech. You become confident by speaking a little more every day, by pushing yourself slightly outside your comfort zone daily. You don't become fit by working out once for 2 hours. You become fit by showing up for 20 minutes consistently. You don't become fluent in English by studying for 5 hours once a week. You become fluent by practicing a little bit every day, even if it's just 10 minutes. The truth is simple but powerful. Your future is shaped by what you do daily, not by what you do sometimes. This is why the 1% rule is so powerful. Because it removes pressure. You don't have to do everything at once. You don't have to be perfect. You only need to be slightly better than yesterday. One small step, one small improvement, one small decision. That's all it takes to move forward. Over time, those small steps will add up and become something extraordinary. Here's a small secret that few people understand. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. Think about that for a moment. When you read for 5 minutes, you're casting a vote to become a reader. When you wake up early, you're voting to become disciplined. When you meditate for 5 minutes, you're voting for peace of mind. When you choose water instead of soda, you're voting to become healthier. These actions might look small, but each one is a vote toward a new identity. Your identity, who you believe you are, is not built overnight. It's built through repetition. You don't become a writer by writing once. You become a writer by writing regularly. You don't become a kind person by doing one good deed. You become kind by choosing kindness again and again. This is how habits shape identity. The more you repeat an action, the stronger that identity becomes. So never say, "This small action doesn't matter." It matters more than you think. Every small decision, every small effort is like a drop of water filling a bucket. One drop means nothing, but with time, those drops fill the whole bucket. And the same happens with your growth. Every small positive habit adds a drop of improvement into your life, and one day, it overflows into success. Let's take another example. Imagine you're learning English. If you study just 10 minutes a day, you might not notice a big improvement in a week. But after 100 days, you'll start understanding more. After 200 days, you'll start speaking with confidence. And after 1 year, you'll be fluent and natural. You didn't do anything magical. You just kept adding 1% every day. Now think about the reverse. What if you skip those 10 minutes every day? You'll stay exactly where you are. 1 year later, you'll still be wishing you could speak confidently. That's why the 1% rule is not only a tool for success, it's a warning against laziness and delay. Every day you delay growth, you're letting small mistakes compound too. The beauty of the 1% rule is that it works quietly. It doesn't shout, it doesn't rush, it doesn't need to show off. It builds results silently, in the background. You won't always see progress daily, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. Like a tree growing under the soil before breaking through the ground, your daily efforts are preparing something powerful beneath the surface. And one day, suddenly, everyone will see your success, and they'll call you lucky. But you'll know it wasn't luck. It was small, steady improvement every single day. So my friend, stop chasing big results overnight. Don't wait for the perfect day or perfect motivation. Start small, start today, and trust the power of the 1% rule. When you make tiny positive choices daily, you're building a strong foundation that will support everything you want in life. Each time you choose discipline over comfort, learning over laziness, and progress over perfection, you're voting for your future self. You're building habits that will carry you far beyond motivation. That's the secret of the 1% rule. It's not about massive effort. It's about small, intelligent consistency. So the next time you ask yourself, does this small action even matter? Remember this. It always does. Because your habits are like seeds. Water them daily, even if just a little, and they will grow into something beautiful. Your identity, your success, your confidence. All of it is being built right now, one small action at a time. Repetition, not perfection, is what creates transformation. The 1% rule may look simple, but it's the quiet force that builds extraordinary lives. Part 3. How to build the 1% habit. Improving just 1% every day sounds simple when you hear it. But the real question is, how do we do it? How do we make that idea come alive in our daily lives? Most people love the idea of growth, but they struggle with consistency. They start big, full of energy and excitement, but when life gets busy, their motivation fades. The truth is, real growth doesn't come from big changes done once in a while. It comes from small, consistent steps done daily, even when you don't feel like it. So, let's make this idea practical and real. Let's break down how you can actually build the habit of improving by just 1% every single day. Step 1. Choose one area of life. The biggest mistake people make when starting self-improvement is trying to fix everything at once. They want to wake up early, exercise, meditate, eat clean, study English, and start a business, all in the same week. That's too much. When you try to do everything, you end up doing nothing well. So instead, start small. Pick one area of life you want to improve. Just one. Maybe you want to become fluent in English. Maybe you want to feel healthier. Maybe you want to become more focused and disciplined. Choose one goal that matters most right now. If you choose English, for example, your 1% improvement could be reading one new English paragraph each day. If you choose health, it could be a 5-minute walk after lunch. If it's discipline, it could be making your bed every morning. You don't need to change the whole world, just one corner of it. Focus on that single area until you build momentum. Once it becomes natural, you can add another. But in the beginning, be narrow and specific. Simplicity is power. Step 2. Make it easy. The reason people quit is not because they're lazy. It's because they make things too difficult. They try to build habits that require too much willpower. The secret is to make your 1% habit easy to do. For example, if you want to start reading, don't keep your book in your bag or on a shelf. Keep it on your pillow or your desk, somewhere visible. When you see it, it reminds you. If you want to start journaling, keep your notebook open with a pen beside it. If you want to exercise, keep your workout clothes ready the night before. This small change reduces friction, the invisible resistance that stops you from acting. The easier your habit is to start, the more likely you'll do it. You don't need to think too much or fight with yourself. Your environment should help you win, not hold you back. Remember, you don't rise to the level of your motivation. You fall to the level of your systems. So design your surroundings to make good habits easy and bad habits hard. Step 3. Track your progress. One of the best ways to stay motivated is to see your progress. Write it down. Track it visually. It could be a notebook, a journal, or even a wall calendar. Each day you complete your 1% improvement. Mark an X. That small mark becomes a symbol of your commitment. Over time, you'll see a long chain of X's, a chain of progress, discipline, and effort. You'll start to feel proud, not because you reached your goal, but because you're showing up every day. This visual proof gives your mind a small reward, a feeling of satisfaction that keeps you going. Psychologists call it the dopamine effect. When your brain feels rewarded, it wants to repeat the behavior. So keep your chain growing. The longer it gets, the stronger your motivation becomes. And if one day you feel like skipping, just look at that chain and remind yourself, don't break it. Even doing something small, like reading one sentence, keeps your chain alive. Step 4. Celebrate small wins. Most people wait for big success to feel proud. They want to see results before they feel happy. But the secret of 1% growth is the opposite. Celebrate every small victory. When you complete your daily habit, smile. Say to yourself, I'm improving. When you learn one new English word, celebrate it. When you finish your short workout, Feel grateful. Small wins build confidence. They tell your brain, I'm moving forward. Think of a baby learning to walk. Every tiny step is a celebration. Nobody waits for the baby to run before cheering. Why should you? You're learning to grow again, to walk toward a better version of yourself. Each small step matters. Step 5. Don't break the chain. Here's the golden rule. Never skip twice. Missing once is okay. Life happens. But missing twice starts a pattern. When you skip twice, your brain starts creating a habit of not doing. So even when you're tired or busy, do something small. If you can't study for 30 minutes, do it for 5. If you can't exercise for 20 minutes, stretch for 2. The goal isn't perfection, it's momentum. Progress is like a snowball. It grows as it rolls. Once you stop, it takes time to start again. So protect your momentum like treasure. Every day, do something that moves you one step closer to your dream. No matter how small, it counts. You're building consistency, not chasing perfection. That's how the 1% rule works. Through small, deliberate, unstoppable action. Final thought for this part. Building the 1% habit is not just about doing more. It's about becoming more. You're not only improving skills, you're building identity. When you read daily, you become a reader. When you exercise daily, you become fit. When you focus daily, you become disciplined. That's how transformation happens. Not overnight, but over time. So, start small. Choose one thing, make it easy, track it, celebrate it, protect your momentum. The 1% rule is not magic. It's mathematics mixed with discipline. Over days, you'll see results. Over months, you'll feel change. Over years, you'll become unrecognizable. In the best way possible. Stay tuned, because the next part will show you how this small habit can completely transform your future and make you unstoppable. Part 4. The compound effect in real life. Let's bring the 1% rule to life with a simple story, one that might sound familiar to you. Imagine 2 friends, Jake and Tom. Both are 25 years old, and both have big dreams. They want success, health, happiness, and financial freedom, just like everyone else. But their choices are slightly different. Jake decides to start improving by just 1% every single day. Nothing dramatic, nothing huge, just small, consistent actions. He reads a few pages of a book every night, saves a few dollars each week, and does short exercises each morning. He isn't chasing perfection. He's just getting a little better. Tom, on the other hand, has the same dreams. But he keeps saying, I'll start tomorrow. He tells himself that one day he'll read, one day he'll save, one day he'll exercise. But not today. Today he's tired, busy, or distracted. He believes small actions don't matter much, so he keeps delaying his growth. Now, in the first week, if you look at Jake and Tom, there's almost no difference. They look the same, talk the same, and live the same kind of life. After a month still, there's not much change. Jake is improving, yes, but only by 1% each day. It's almost invisible. But something powerful is happening beneath the surface. Momentum is building. Jake is forming habits that will soon become automatic. Fast forward to 6 months later. Jake feels more confident. His body is stronger. His savings are growing. His mind is sharper. Tom, however, is stuck in the same place. He keeps scrolling through his phone, complaining about how life isn't changing. But he hasn't realized that not improving is also a habit. a negative one. Now, after 1 full year, the difference is clear. Jake has transformed, not because of luck, but because of consistency. He reads better, speaks with confidence, and feels proud of the person he's becoming. He's not a millionaire, but he's financially stable. He's not an athlete, but he's healthy. He's not a genius, but he's wise. Tom, on the other hand, has lost time. And time is the one thing you can never get back. This story may sound simple, but it's a mirror for real life. Every day, we're all either becoming a little better or a little worse. Every choice counts, no matter how small it seems. The 1% rule doesn't work just in theory. It works everywhere. In your health, your career, your relationships, and your personal growth. Think about language learning, for example. If you study English for just 20 minutes each day, you might not feel much improvement in a week. But after a month, you'll notice you can understand more. After 6 months, you'll start forming sentences naturally. After a year, you'll speak fluently and confidently. All because you stayed consistent. But if you keep skipping practice, telling yourself, "I'll start next week," a year will pass, and you'll still be stuck where you are. That's the quiet power of small actions. They don't scream, but they build strength silently. Now take health as another example. One salad won't change your body, and one workout won't transform your fitness. But do it every day. Eat one healthy meal, walk for 10 minutes, drink enough water, and you'll notice your energy rising. Your body will change. Your mind will become clear. Over time, those small decisions will completely reshape your life. That's the magic of the compound effect. It's like planting a seed. At first, you see nothing. You water it daily, and it seems like nothing is happening. But beneath the soil, roots are growing, and one day it breaks through the ground and grows into a strong tree. That's exactly how the 1% rule works. Your small habits are the seeds of your future success. Let's go deeper for a moment. Imagine 2 people saving money. Person A saves just $2 a day. That's about $60 a month. Person B says, "It's too small, it won't matter." After 1 year, Person A has saved around $720. After 5 years, that small daily saving turns into thousands, and maybe even grows through investments. Person B, on the other hand, keeps spending and stays broke. The difference wasn't talent or intelligence. It was consistency. The same applies to your mind. If you fill your mind with positive, educational, and inspiring thoughts every day, by reading, listening, or learning, your mindset changes. You start thinking clearly, speaking confidently, and acting wisely. But if you fill your mind with negativity, gossip, and distractions, you become dull and unmotivated. Your mind compounds whatever you feed it, good or bad. That's why it's said, you don't see progress every day, but one day you wake up and realize how far you've come. Small steps don't feel powerful in the moment, but they are unstoppable when repeated over time. The world may not see your quiet efforts, but the results will speak loudly one day. So, my friend, never underestimate the small things you do daily. A small improvement in your focus, your routine, your thinking. It all adds up. Every time you say, "I'll do it," instead of "I'll start later," you're taking control of your destiny. Remember, small changes are invisible at first, but they are unbeatable over time. The difference between success and failure is rarely about huge effort. It's about small effort, done consistently. You don't have to climb the whole mountain today. Just take one step upward, and then another tomorrow. That's how Jake became the better version of himself. That's how you will too. So ask yourself, which path are you walking? Jake's or Tom's? Are you improving 1% daily, or are you waiting for the perfect time that never comes? The truth is, your small actions today are writing the story of your future. Stay tuned, because in the next part, we'll dive deeper into how to stay consistent, even when motivation disappears, and how to keep improving 1% daily no matter what life throws at you. Part 5. When motivation fades. Now let's talk about something real, something that almost everyone struggles with. What happens when motivation fades? Because here's the truth. No matter how inspired or excited you feel today, one day you'll wake up tired, lazy, or frustrated. You'll hit a day when your energy is low, when your brain doesn't want to work, and when everything seems harder than it should be. And if you rely only on motivation, that's the day you're most likely to fail. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes like the weather. Some days it pours down like a heavy rain, filling you with energy and excitement. Other days, it disappears completely, leaving you empty, stuck, and unproductive. If your success depends solely on how you feel in the moment, you'll never reach your potential. That's why you must focus on systems and habits, not moods. Habits are permanent. They don't care if you're tired, stressed, or unmotivated. They keep you moving even on your worst days. The first step when motivation fades is to remind yourself of your why. Why did you start this journey in the first place? Why do you want to improve by 1% every day? Your why is your anchor. It's the reason that pulls you forward when your brain is telling you to stop. Maybe you want to speak English fluently to communicate confidently. Maybe you want to become stronger, healthier, or more focused. Maybe you want to feel proud of yourself. When motivation disappears, reconnect with that reason. Write it down, read it aloud, or visualize the result. Your why is the fuel that can push you through low-energy days. Next, do something small to keep the chain alive. You don't need to complete the whole task. You don't need to achieve perfection. Even a tiny action counts. If your habit is reading, read one paragraph. If your habit is exercising, do one push-up. If your habit is journaling, write one sentence. Why does this matter? Because showing up, even in a small way, maintains your momentum. It keeps the habit alive, your chain unbroken, and your mind aligned with growth. Remember, consistency beats intensity. Small effort every day is more powerful than massive effort once in a while. Another key step is to forgive yourself if you fall. You will have bad days. You will miss a habit or make a mistake. That's okay. Don't let guilt or frustration derail your progress. Accept it, learn from it, and come back stronger the next day. Progress is not a straight line. Some days you'll move forward fast, some days slow, but as long as you don't stop, you're still growing. Even small, imperfect actions add up over time. The person who keeps moving forward, despite challenges, always wins in the long run. Think about life like a plane flying from New York to London. If the plane changes direction by just 1 degree, it will land in a completely different country. One tiny adjustment doesn't seem significant at first, but over time, it creates a huge difference. Your daily actions work the same way. Every little choice, whether it's showing up to study, exercising, or practicing a skill, changes your trajectory. One day, those small decisions compound into a path that leads straight to your dream. Even when motivation fades, you can rely on systems to carry you. A system is a routine, a structure, a way of life that makes growth automatic. For example, if you set a specific time for your English practice every morning, your brain doesn't have to debate whether to do it or not. It just happens. If you schedule a short workout at the same time every day, you won't need motivation to push yourself. It becomes part of who you are. Systems reduce the need for willpower and remove friction, making progress inevitable. Here's a simple formula for those tough days. Remind yourself of your why. Do something small. Keep the chain alive. Forgive yourself. Return tomorrow. That's it. No complicated strategies, no extreme effort. Just a small, deliberate step forward. Every time you follow this formula, you're building resilience, discipline, and momentum. You're teaching yourself that growth is not about motivation, it's about commitment. Remember, the plane analogy is powerful because it shows how tiny changes create massive results. A 1% improvement today might seem insignificant, but over a year, it completely shifts your life. Skipping a day or two doesn't ruin your progress if you return immediately. Falling short occasionally is part of growth, but quitting entirely is what stops transformation. Every small effort matters. Every step counts. So, when you wake up tired, frustrated, or lazy, don't wait for motivation to return. Take action anyway. Do something small. Show up for yourself. Protect your chain. Trust the system. And keep your eyes on your why. The person you will become, stronger, wiser, confident, and disciplined, is being shaped today in these small, seemingly insignificant moments. In the end, success is not about giant bursts of effort. It's about showing up, even when motivation fades. It's about making tiny improvements, day after day, and trusting that over time, those small steps will lead to extraordinary results. Your direction is being built one decision at a time. So choose wisely, keep moving, and let your habits carry you to your dreams. Stay consistent, stay patient, and remember, momentum beats motivation. Even when you don't feel like it, do something. Because every tiny effort shifts your life closer to the person you're meant to become. Final words. One step today. A giant leap tomorrow. My friend, let's be real. Success is not something that happens overnight. It's not built in a single day, in one huge effort, or through a sudden miracle. True success is built daily, quietly, patiently, through small choices, consistent effort, and unshakable focus. Every small action you take, every good habit you repeat, is like laying another brick in the foundation of your future. When you grow by just 1% each day, you're not simply improving. You're building momentum, and that momentum makes you unstoppable over time. Stop waiting for the perfect day to start. Stop waiting until you feel ready. Stop comparing your journey to others. Every person has their own pace, their own struggles, and their own victories. The only person you need to compete with is yourself, yesterday's version of you. Right now, you have the power to take one small action that will inch you closer to your goals. Just one step. That's all it takes. Here at English Achieve, we believe in progress over perfection. Every word you learn, every lesson you complete, every story you read is another vote for the person you want to become. Even if it's just 1% improvement today, it matters. Because little by little, those small actions compound into something extraordinary. One day, you'll look back and be amazed at how far you've come. How a tiny, consistent choice each day has transformed your life in ways you never imagined. So promise yourself this. Today, I will improve a little. Today, I will take one step forward, no matter how small it feels. Because small steps add up to big results. Small victories build confidence. Small actions create habits, and habits shape your identity. Champions are not made through sudden miracles. They are made through small, consistent victories, repeated over time. Keep going, keep learning, keep improving, even if it's just 1% daily. Your future self will thank you. Remember, every journey begins with a single step. Today, that step is yours to take. Go out there and improve just 1%. Because that one small step is the beginning of a giant leap that can change your life forever.